Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva. I'm back here again for another review of Real Housewives of Potomac. This particular episode, I don't remember what episode number we're on. I think it's episode 12, maybe. But either way, it is called Good Will Hunting. And if this is your first time here, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. Tell all your friends about it because y'all going to enjoy what Diva has to say about these here wives of Potomac, okay? So basically what is happening now, as you all know, Michael Darby was accused last fall of being inappropriate with one of the cameramen that films for them on Bravo. Now, we know that cameramen have to get into some close spaces with people. And so they're used to the type of touching that comes along with their territory. So therefore, they should be able to decipher the difference between, oh, excuse me, I bumped into you, to an actual grabbing of the ass. We lucky Michael ain't running around grabbing crouches. But either way, Ashley really needs to stop trying to minimize the bad behavior of her husband. But I get it because Ashley comes from nothing. There's nothing wrong with that because we all got to start somewhere, right? She comes from a poverty-stricken life as she's described it to us. So she's really not used to having anything. And once you get hold of the lifestyle that Michael can afford her, I mean, wouldn't you want to hold on to that too? Okay, or at least pretend until this little baby come along. By the way, them baby pics came out. All the people who published them pictures on social media should cut them Instagram, should have cut the comments off. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. This day and age, people are unbothered, unfiltered, and have no restraint. Anybody can get it, children included. Now, I ain't going to lie. I looked at that baby and I said, oh, how precious. Because, you know, we all precious in Jesus' sight. Amen. But that baby looked just like Michael. But, baby, that just goes to show you she was stressed out big time dealing with Michael and having his baby. Because that baby looked just like him. I want to say something else, but I ain't going to say that because I don't want nobody to come for me. And even though I don't think it's possible for me to have children, or I would consider having children, as my name is not Janet Jackson or Halle Berry, but I don't want my kid to come out looking like that, okay? But Ashley and Michael published the pictures through People showing off their little bundle of joy. And I just hope he grows into himself, okay? But they have decided to go on a press conference when we open up the episode. I believe it's when we open up the episode. Ashley is saging the house for positivity and for negativity to flee. Then she was talking about something about discomfort and sadness. I was like, imagine how the cameraman felt. Okay. Let me get this storyline out the way real quick because we can wrap this up in a nice little bow. Karen Huger, I love you, grand dame. Raven can sing, but she was not ready for the studio. Okay. So Karen's daughter Raven is home from college and she was shopping her mama's closet, honey. And she told Karen, this is vintage. Okay, when you go in your mama's closet. I don't know what Karen felt like. Are you trying to say I'm old and dilapidated or what's going on here? Turns out that Karen is friends with Macy Gray. I love Macy Gray. I try to say goodbye and I choke. I try to walk away and I stumble. Even I try to hide it. But turns out she's friends with Macy Gray, and apparently Raven at the funeral services for her grandmother sang Amazing Grace. So Karen decides she wants Raven to memorialize this, so she calls Macy Gray. Macy Gray invites them down to the studio. Raven was on struggle. I'm not saying the sister can't sing, but like we all concluded, we have had enough of the cast members' children trying to sing, or the parents trying to force them to sing. We saw that with Candy and Riley, and now we got Raven on here. I can't think who else children was trying to sing. I can't sing, okay? I mean, I can hold a note and I can harmonize with you because I was taught that in choir, but I'm not a vocalist, but I'm a good karaoke person. And so Raven was in the booth, and she was like, Amazing grace. And I was like, okay, girl, you're going too high. Stay in your key. Where is your key? Okay, you're trying to do too much, okay? So Raven ends up dropping the track, finally getting it. I always, and you know what my problem is? Oh, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. But that's not what we got from Raven's track, honey. We got something else. It was like, I was like, oh, that's too much cognitive dissonance. I hope they fleshed that out, because I didn't like it. It didn't even sound like her voice when they got done mixing it. I didn't like it. Okay. So needless to say, I don't know. Raven can sing, but it's definitely not, she's not ready for the stage. A few more vocal lessons, she might be okay. Giselle cold-blooded. Giselle talking about, let me get my snacks and my popcorn and kick back and watch. And she was sitting there watching like, ooh, girl, no. Yes, I was like, oh, Lord, while she was watching this interview with Michael. So Michael basically said that he just bumped into him and there was no sexual assault, and that's why there's not a case. But like Black Twitter and all of Twitter pretty much has concluded that money talks and money can get you out of a lot of stuff. I mean, perhaps Michael is suffering from affluenza. I ain't want to gossip. You heard it from me. But Giselle had me die, which this heifer popped popcorn to watch this interview with Ashley and Michael setting up their line. Giselle's from, why they sitting so far apart from each other, Jesus? I was like, because she ain't trying to get none of that on her, okay? And I think he said something about Ashley was standing by him at the time of the incident, but I was like, no, Ashley was outside posing for a picture and they were looking for you because she said you got hot and that's why you went in the house, but you were hot for sausage is what it was. And I said that last week and I'll say it again. So I don't understand. And plus, Chris got called to be a witness anyways for that mess. So either way, it's just all very suspicious to me about the whole Michael and cameraman fiasco. Booty grab gate, that's what we're going to call it. And in an age of Me Too, Michael, watch your back and watch your hands. Learn how to keep your hands to yourself. I'm sure in Australia they taught you that. I did not know that Mo had an actual podcast for her brand, Not for Lazy Moms. I still, to this day, while Monique, you have grown on me and I like you this season, I just feel like it's a terrible name because it gives me that some moms are extremely lazy. And it's like everyone else said, so if we're not putting oils on our children and you know, that type of thing, does that make us lazy and massaging oils and stuff? I'm just saying, you know, but I guess, I mean, maybe it works for you because she says she's going into her second season of her podcast, but she had me dying. They showed a clip of it. And she was like, yeah, when Chris and I approach his mom to talk to her about some issues, it doesn't feel like a gangbang. And Chris was like, what? Oh, Lord, that was terrible. Ashley comes down to the studio because Mo is now her sister. It feels good to have my sister on my side. She wasn't your sister last season. Last season, you were dragging her for filth about having a car crash after having a few margaritas with your drunk ass. Okay, so I'm really trying to understand that. And she was like, and besides, Giselle has flipped. Giselle didn't flip. Giselle was just asking you some questions. But you know Giselle is messy, so maybe you should feel that way about Giselle. But either way, Giselle was just asking the questions. And like I also said for Giselle, though, it is inappropriate for her to ask Ashley how she should address Ashley's concern when common sense should prevail and tell her it's not my business to tell. Talk to Ashley. And then they were talking about how Candace was childish. Monique showed the text messages where she was talking about, Candace was talking about Ashley's situation and kind of poking fun at it. But my thing is, Monique, your hands ain't all that clean either, because you were talking about how karma comes. So, I mean, you had some things to say too. And then she was talking about how Ashley was talking about how Candace is childish, but I'm like, to be honest, you really don't have any room to talk because you're very immature. And I think they're both about the same age. I think they're 32 years old, pageant queens. Only thing is Candace had, Ashley did. And the reason why I say Ashley ain't got no room to talk about childishness, since day one of hitting the scene, you've been nothing but messy. You've targeted everyone. You wanted to be in Robin's business. You wanted to be in Karen's business. I mean, there was no stopping you from being in people's business. So here we are in season 4, and karma has finally found its way to you. And you are not on karma's good side, because that's not a good look. Okay, because we already find out later on in this episode that Michael's behavior is affecting his bottom line at his business. So there you go. But you've terrorized these women for 3 long seasons. Everyone, as my old friend used to say, everyone gets their comeuppance. Okay? Robin is having a girls' night in with her homegirl. She got on jeans and flexing at her complexion. You know, everyone kind of just looked like we all here gathered, these cameras in our face. I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure what to do. One walking around looking lost, like he don't know what to do in his own house with all these women in here. Him and Robin seem kind of awkward. Katie and Giselle show up as part of the cast. I don't know what to say about poor Katie and her hair, though. I was like, good Lord, Katie, what is that on your head, girl? What? Somebody, I don't know if it was this week or last week, but somebody on Twitter said she don't have any AC in her house, but we get that part. But is the electricity on? Like, did it get cut off? Like, what's going on? Katie, we got to do better, honey. You deserve better, okay? You used to be a supermodel. What's going on? So they stand around and talk about Ashley and her situation, and I love how Katie just spilled all the tea. Come to find out, Michael's going to try to push up on her new man. Now, I said, now, he already tried to take your fiance last season, grabbing his booty. And now, he going to try. She said, well, we were out with them. He was up there talking about, call me on my private line, and let's get together. And I'm just like, ugh, creepy Michael. Okay, so anyway, at the end of the day, everyone's just kind of like, Katie was like, I just think she's stupid. I was like, oh. Then Robin was like me. I also believe this too, that maybe they have some sort of arrangement. I feel like that's what's really going on. If I was Ashley, I would be like, I know he has some proclivities, but I'm going to stand by my man because I need these checks. Okay. Giselle talking about, oh, I think she just being supportive. I'm like, no, she just trying to make sure she can stick around long enough and have his baby and then bounce. Oh, and I knew I was forgetting something. So remember when they were in the kitchen doing this girls' night out, and Katie and Giselle and Robin were all standing there, in addition to talking about Ashley. I can't remember if it was Katie or Giselle. I think it was Giselle was like, oh, we should have a threesome. He can pick one of us to do it. And Robin was just standing there like, what? Like, what is wrong with them? Girl, I wanted to know what was wrong with them too. I'd be giving Giselle the side eye because she was like big on that threesome thing. I was like, are you out your rabbit ass mind? That would come off as disrespectful to me. I'm sorry. It just would. What was that about? Monique and Chris are preparing for the birth of the new baby. Chris wants a oops baby. And because Monique was like, I think this is it for us. They stand around and talk about, what's going on. But Chris and Monique kind of have a very Christian approach to it. She was like, Chris was like, well, I'm just glad that Michael had something to say. But it just seems odd that a cameraman would say that he grabbed him, but then the charges get dismissed. Like, why would he go through all of that just for that, basically? There's a difference between bumping and touching, and you know the difference. And I believe that Michael was blatant and aggressive with it. That's what I believe. And then they were joking about the fact that Chris was like, well, whose pee was it? And she was like, I'm pretty sure it was on. He told me, I like sausage, but kind of go on the grill. So Juan's 40th birthday party, I was like, Robin, this was the best we could do this year. But he claimed he was so happy, and he said it was the best birthday party he had. But I was just giving the side eye. I was like, so for his surprise 40th birthday party, which ended up not being a surprise because he was going to have to work, Robin decides to have his 40th birthday party at a haunted forest during the Halloween season because he's a fall baby. Now Ashley, we find Ashley driving to this event. And she's talking about, oh my God, it's so dark. Where is it? And then the camera pans, and then it's Michael. You're just like, oh shit. The creepy old white man is coming to the party. Do you honestly think he would miss an opportunity to be with the sausage that he wants, which is Juan? And they won't tell us that it's Juan, but I can tell by how Robin always brings it up. I'm like, clearly it was Juan he was talking about, okay? So anyway, he talking about, well, you know, Juan likes to have fun. I like to have fun. I was like, you doing a lot of comparing and contrasting here, buddy. Ashley was just like, uh-huh. He was like, well, there were no charges filed because, you know, I didn't do anything. And, you know, because it was really, so I had some business projects that couldn't even go through until this went away, which leads me to really believe that he was able to settle out of court. But either way, this haunted forest with a bunch of black folk, I was like, okay, girl, get it how you live. But I do hope that Michael learned a valuable lesson from this. Whether he did it or he didn't do it, we don't really know what happened. But I don't think anyone would subject themselves to, especially if you are a heterosexual male, would you cry out that someone, and I'm assuming this, I don't know, that someone grabbed you inappropriately. I mean, look how hard it was for Terry Crews and how he was vilified for it in some respects by some people. And when only thing was he was trying to be a sympathizer of the women. Because by far, women, we get it the worst. In Hollywood, in comedy, you name it. In the workplace, in corporate, we get it the worst out of everyone. But I hope Michael learned that he should keep his hands to himself. So they finally get there. Michael and Ashley are the first to arrive. Giselle arrives. And then they're like, where's Robin and them? Of course, y'all know Robin can't be on time to say their lies. The little boys will sleep. I was like, are they sleeping? Is their bedroom the loft? I was confused, but I guess so. They weren't ready. Juan wasn't ready. They all just kind of around and said, Lord, the Dixons can't be on time, Lord. So she calls them. They said they're on their way. Next thing you know, she sees that Michael is there, and she was like, oh, no charges, high five, and they just kind of left her hanging, and then everybody was looking like all awkward and shit, but eventually they did give her a high five back. I was like, you are so wrong for that. Next up, Candace and Chris arrive, and Chris is like, there are so many bugs out here. I was like, baby, you better get you some Skin So Soft from Ava to keep the bugs off of you. But it was very awkward between her and Ashley. Like, she just kind of waved at Ashley, but everybody else got a hug, okay? And plus, I was like, po Chris, honey, you better talk to Robin about it. Even a white man don't want to be out there. Though, when I look at Chris sometimes, I'm like, there's got to be some African roots in there. Child, but when Juan came up on the scene, you would have thought it was Christmas for Michael, honey. He was like, oh, God, I'm so happy to see you. And then Juan was like, you know, it's all good, man. You know, you beat the charges or whatever. It's all good. And Michael just, oh, my God, yes, I love you. I want your sausage. Oh, he was so excited. So excited. Baby, they get through this haunted house or whatever this freaky stuff is, and Karen gets the look of the year for me. One of them clown people rolled up on her and she said, not today. Not today. I said, ooh, Karen was like, you can stick it. I was like, oh my God, not the grand dome. But I feel her. And she was being a real friend. Because if you told me you were having a party at a haunted place, I ain't coming. I used to be into, as a kid, I was not terrified of anything. I watched scary movies. I went to haunted houses. I lived for that shit. But now, in my old age, I get to thinking my mind just travels to too many places. Okay, I be seeing shit. No, I'm good. I'm good. So they all, the family and friends that are there for Juan, they all show up, and you know, in the lodge looking area, it looked like they had used an area in the haunted forest to celebrate his birthday, and Juan was grateful, and him and Robin share a moment, and Robin's like a little school kid, like, oh my God, he can sing in front of everybody. I can see that, like, you can kind of see the desperation with Robin, but like all of us recommend for Robin is for her and Juan to have a moment where she gets her some more peen elsewhere in between. But honestly, like I was telling someone, you know, people are like, oh my God, that's wrong. I'm like, no, Juan had every right to walk away. He been out here playing ball, and you done gambled off all the family money. So I just could see myself and my husband. We done both talked about, okay, we're not going to invest in this, and then you go and do it, and you lose all of our money. I mean, picture Renata from Big Little Lies having a meltdown. That's what I would do, but I would leave you faster than finding out that you've been getting stress management from the babysitter. But that's another show. So the men are having a conversation. It is Monique and Chris didn't show up. But Chris Bassett, Juan, and Michael are off to the side talking, and Michael talking about, have you ever been skiing or snowboarding? You know, I mean, you end up in places where you're not supposed to be. And I was like, okay. And Chris was just sitting there like, oh my God, this is awful. And that's all their conversation was. But the women were over in the corner, and that's when Ashley felt like she had to fight for her life. She told Giselle, she was like, well, I felt like when you told me that Michael had grabbed somebody, she said, I assumed he had, but I thought you knew he had grabbed him. Yes, I did. Because he has a pattern of doing this. And then she was like, the only person that called to check on me, I think she said, was Monique. And I was like, wait a minute, Giselle had been calling and checking on you for a long time about that stuff. And then Candace was like, everybody been keying about it. I mean, because that's just what we do. And plus, everybody was like, he has a history of doing it. And so Ashley got really irritated with everyone, and she leaves just like Reagan did on Southern Charm. Till I'm ready to go. I was like, oh my God, girl, you can't get mad at the fact that your man is an embarrassment to you, but you choose to stay in that. And then Giselle, my favorite line from Giselle tonight was, well, hell, we were all just reporting the news. Oh my God. Then at one point the men were talking about camping, and Chris was just like, yeah, I went camping as a kid, but I ain't really been camping. And Juan was like, I wouldn't go camping. I was like, I bet Mike was disappointed that you wouldn't join him in camping. There's a lot of things you can do in the forest. Then they brought up that ass grabbing of Katie's ex-fiance, Andrew. And she was like, that's not what happened. No, it didn't happen. She was like, he said, come dance. Come dance. No, he grabbed his ass. And they also, Bravo's so shady, they showed a flashback at one point during this episode where Michael had said something to one of the people at Candace and Chris' wedding about he wanted to grab Ray's ass or something. I was like, God damn, what is wrong with this? Oh God, he got problems. He got big problems, and it's gonna cost him in the end. He gonna end up behind bars like Jeffrey Epstein and R. Kelly with no bail. Clankety clank. Although if he dropped the soap, he'd probably be happy about what could happen. And Giselle then wants to inquire to Chris and about what they talked about, and surprisingly, you know, she was like, y'all know y'all were over there talking about that. He was like, no, actually we didn't. You know, I'm like, men aren't going to sit around and talk about some shit like that. Karen said that, you know, she wouldn't feel comfortable. She's never really cared for Michael, and I remember that when he showed up, when they had that getaway at their beach house, Ashley and Michael's beach house, and he showed up, and Karen was not cool with that, and Ray wasn't either. But, you know, Karen said, you know, I've had a history with him. I'm a rape victim. I survived rape. And I remember her, you know, they did a thing with her, with Karen about that. So she was like, I'm just not comfortable with him. I was like, hell, if I saw Michael, I wouldn't be comfortable with him. Although I don't know why any of us as females would be uncomfortable, because it's not our booty he trying to grab. And most of us don't have sausages. So when they were talking about, a producer asked Giselle if she believed that Monique's cameras were off. She was like, oh, please, control freak Monique. Oh, because, wait a minute. At one point in the conversation, Ashley was basically trying to make it seem like Monique was her only friend. And then Giselle said, I guess Monique would be my only friend too, especially if she might have the footage. So the producers then in turn asked Giselle, well, do you believe that about the camera? She was like, control freak Monique. Oh, she had cameras, honey. She had cameras on. On what day would she not have them on? That's a lie. So it's the end of the episode, and Bravo is shady as hell. Unseen footage. Sure enough, just like we all saw, Michael was not anywhere near the scene. As he was coming through, the cameraman told him, don't do that anymore. And Michael was like, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. And then they showed another clip of him walking down the hallway. He was like, I didn't grab your booty. I didn't do that on purpose, blah, blah, blah. And he was apologizing. At the conclusion, Monique said that last scene with the guy saying, Michael was apologizing profusely. She said that was her cousin's voice. That somebody had edited his voice, but I'm like, I'm sorry, something happened at your house. I don't know if you don't want to assume liability, because what is it called? Social host liability. I guess you don't want to assume that, but okay. Next week, Monique's water breaks and Candace's house shopping, $2.5 million. And I like what Chris said though too. He said, I don't want us to get in a position where we are struggling. I'm gonna tell you something, Candace. You won't have your mama's checks coming in. I guess that's the whole goal, right? And real quick, let's touch on the fact that our girl Katie Ross, who has grown on me, will not be part of the reunion, and I want y'all to hear her statement. She said, I have been told I will not be asked to be on the reunion. I want to be there. Obviously, I have a place there. That's not right. You're going to have Michael Darby, aka Chester Molester, there and not me. What the fuck, Bravo? Not cool. This says it all. Something is stinky as fuck in Denmark. If Bravo and True are going to let Michael, Darby, and Ashley come to the reunion, they sure as hell should have the cameraman on there too. Built an entire season on that man's back. I hope he got paid too. Hey guys, don't hire a woman who graduated from Boston University College of Communications with a degree in broadcast journalism like I did and expect to have her around for events like this to be just a silly Susie. Especially after not coming forward as an abuse victim and survivor. I pay attention. Okay, Monique said True Entertainment Production Company and Bravo Network straight up doctored the footage, both audio and video, of Michael sexually assaulting a cameraman they employed. That's a pretty serious claim. So going forward, all these people have zero credibility if they stay affiliated with a production who would cause this to occur and make it entertainment. It's not funny or cute to lie and say a sexual assault happened if it didn't. And I'm truly offended by this whole storyline. As a woman who survived sexual abuse, I'm saying this is wrong and someone needs to be fired. So there was a lot that Katie had to say. Basically, Katie was saying that if it is true, what Monique is claiming, that the audio and video was doctored, then it's foul. But I don't know. I don't know. It seemed legit to me, but maybe there was a manipulation. I hope that if it was a manipulation, Bravo comes clean about it. As for Katie not being there, that's not fair. Y'all let Charisse be there, but why can't Katie be there? Why can't Katie come? So either way, y'all, that's all I've got. I went way too long on this review, but I'm glad that Ashley got her bag secured with this baby. So maybe we won't have to see her next season. And we also see that Ashley and her mother journey down here to Georgia to find her father. Where is Ashley's father with his white children? That's where he is. But either way, that's all I've got. I've been Miss Sophia the Diva. Be sure to join me on Tuesday night on BFAM 109.6 for A Diva Disturbed. This coming Tuesday, we will welcome actor Luco Pierre. And we'll learn about his journey from being a child actor to now in adulthood, how Hollywood has been to him. That's all I've got on this Real Housewives of Potomac. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. And let me know your thoughts on this whole Michael, Darby, Ashley thing. I just think it's sick and twisted. And that if Bravo did that for a storyline, there are too many sexual assault victims out there for y'all to be doing that. It's not a laughing matter, as Katie pointed out. And I do want Katie at the reunion. But chin up, buttercups. The sun will come out. Ask me, I know, because the week I have had has been a miserable one. But I am back up and at 'em. I even went out tonight. I stepped out tonight for an event. It was for the Metro Atlanta Association of Professionals, but it's an LGBT group. Kind of like the Los Angeles LGBT Chamber of Commerce. I attended their event. It was a very nice event. It was a great networking. Met a lot of wonderful people, and I was so grateful that I got up and went out. Inexpensive night. Just went out to try to network and to get guests for the show and possible sponsorships for my show. But either way, that's all I've got. Y'all make it a great day and stay fabulous.